welcome to, oh, wait, hold on one second. Hello, and welcome to Adventures of Deanna. I'm Deanna, and I'm on an adventure to lose over 100 pounds, and this is the ABCs of weight loss, where, each week we pick a letter, and we talk about words or a word that starts with that letter, and how they relate to weight loss. Sorry for the start there, it was a little slow. Yay, you can hear me and see me now. So I thought that I had this stupid intro thing playing, but I didn't. I've just been having all kinds of technical difficulties today. So, yay me. Excellent. That's what you get whenever you take a break. When you take a break, then you get technical difficulties. That's what I'm learning today. That is what I am learning, but I'm glad that you can hear me. The thing said we were talking about the letter P, but we're not. We're talking about the letter S. We're talking about the letter S today. So, while we're waiting for people to join us, go ahead and guess. Guess some letters. Guess some words, guess words that start with the letter S. Want to guess words that start with the letter S that we may or may not be talking about today with the ABCs of weight loss. So many wonderful words that start with the letter S. Hey Jess, welcome. Sustainable. So my neighbor is having a party and all kinds of guests are coming and going. So if you hear Loki barking in the background, I apologize, but there are just a lot of stuff going on outside. So, and he's being annoying. Strong. Another great word is strong. Sustainable, strong. Loki says hello back. I kicked him out of the room. He's not happy with me. Not happy with me. Sustainable, strong. Any other guesses? Any other guesses? Just waiting for guesses. Hoping that there's more guesses. Hoping more people join us. I changed the time and then I took a couple weeks off. So if we have low turnout today, that's probably my fault because I changed the time and I took a couple weeks off. So I apologize that if we don't have, a lot of participation in the chat tonight. But, these things happen and I was feeling a little, and this is an S word, stress. I was feeling a little bit of stress, so I wanted to kind of take a step back because I was feeling, stress, and I just needed my weekends to be my weekends for a minute and not have to really focus so much on, other things. So that's kind of why we were, I took a break for a couple of weeks, was just because I was feeling stress, and it's important whenever that we're feeling stress that we acknowledge that stress, because when we're feeling stress, it can learn to another S word that nobody guessed, which is self-sabotage. It can lead to sabotage. Whenever we're stressed, we have a lot of different coping mechanisms, and some of those coping mechanisms to deal with the stress then turn into sabotage. So they kind of work hand in hand. We need to manage our stress so that we don't go to those coping skills that are oftentimes sabotage. Oftentimes they are sabotage. So some of the words that we're going to be talking about today are that. 100% should have guessed sabotage. Yes, that is the biggest barrier to me, in my opinion, to being able to lose weight is sabotage. And it's not even just in being able to lose weight. If you want to excel in your career, if you want to save more money, if you want to have a well maintained home, so many things that we do in our lives, we sabotage. If we want to grow a business, if we want to grow our YouTube channel, if we want to, so many things, we just sabotage. Even though that's what we want, we find ways to sabotage. It is so, yes. So. Wow, so ridiculous. Always after I lose weight, I want to put just a little back on. Just a little. Let me just do a little. And then that little bit turns to more than a little bit. Yep, I've been there. Been there. Totally been there. Oh my gosh. Whenever I was a Weight Watcher leader many, many years ago, they had a new program coming out, and I thought to myself, hey, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna gain, like 10 pounds so I can try out the new program and show how awesome it is, and how, these changes, because they made a lot of changes at that point in time. I can't remember what they all were. But I thought it was just going to be so awesome of me to just gain these 10 pounds so that I could lose them and, show how awesome these changes were to the program. That was the biggest mistake I could have made. It sent me into a tailspin, like the biggest form of self-sabotage. And truly, there was something bigger going on at the moment than just that. There was a lot more to it than just wanting to, gain those 10 pounds for, the program. It was so complicated. So very, very, very complicated. So, definitely, sabotage is something that we do to ourselves. And, there's different forms of sabotage. There's negative self-talk, procrastination, self-sabotaging behaviors and thoughts are oftentimes, they're learned in childhood through example and modeling, and all too often they're passed down from one generation to the next. So it's not just something that, is alone to us. It's something that, we could have possibly been taught. And self-sabotage, like the negative self-talk, like procrastination, it can show up in our digital habits and patterns as well. So if we're like looking at our email right away or too many times, scrolling social media too much, if we're obsessing over Facebook photos of, friends or family or acquaintances or whatever, a lot of times these behaviors can be sabotaging to us because we're getting into, self-comparison, and instead of staying in our own lane. So a lot of the simple behaviors that we do, we don't even recognize as self-sabotage. So it's important to be just very aware, not just of, the negative self-talk, but a lot of our other behaviors that we do that can sabotage our weight loss efforts. One of the things that we do in the No BS weight loss program is we make a 24-hour plan. So we write down what it is that we're going to eat for the day. And then the whole point is to, follow that plan to the best of your ability. And then the next day you go through and you do an assessment of how that went. And you think about, well, did I follow my plan? Why or why not didn't I follow my plan? Was it, because I was invited to go out to eat? Was it because I had a stressful day? Was it because of, what kind of outside factors were there? Were they causing me stress? Were they causing me some kind of harm? Was it something that I need to be aware of? Was it self-sabotage? Because if your plan, whenever you wake up in the morning and you make your plan and you set your goals for the day, or even if you do it at the end of the night for the next day and you say, this is my plan for the next day, this is how I want to show up for myself, this is what I want to do tomorrow in order to be in line with my goals and what I want. And then the next day you go and you have behaviors that aren't in line. Well, why was that? By doing an assessment, by thinking about it, by taking some time to analyze those actions, then we've got, some information to think about, well, why did I self-sabotage? And then we can make a plan to figure out how to not do that self-sabotage. And it's not easy. Self-sabotage is so easy. Coming up with a plan that works and you can be consistent at doing is not always easy. Hello, LB. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We're talking about words that start with the letter S, and right now we're talking about sabotage. And did anybody, when I said sabotage, think of the Beastie Boys song? Anybody? Let me know. So a lot of times whenever we're like stressed or anxious or have different feelings, even sometimes whenever we have extreme happiness, that's whenever we can see these moments of sabotage really, really creeping into our lives. I know, Misty, you make a plan every single day, and you've talked about how you make a plan, and then, if your brain says, oh, I want French fries, and you're like, that wasn't on the plan, not today. I didn't plan to have French fries. I will eat the French fries whenever I plan for them, but today is not the day, because I didn't plan for those French fries. And for everybody out there, it's a good thing to do, and you base it on the things for you. Like, was a cookie on your plan? Then do you need to have a cookie? Or can you just sit through that urge to have a cookie and put it on your plan the next day if you still want a cookie the next day? But instead, learning to not always get that instant gratification is something that I think is an acquired skill, and it's an important one, and it's a good one for us to have. So, sabotage. I definitely am the queen of sabotage, and you don't even sometimes realize that you're doing it. You think that you're doing things right, but there's things for sure. And Misty's comment here, she says, that's exactly, it's hard, but it has really worked, and I don't feel deprived because I can have whatever I plan. And that leads into the sustainability, that word that Jess brought up earlier, sustainability. Sustainability, that word is so weird to me because I believe that sustainability is a thought that you have about the plan that you're following. So a lot of the people out there, they follow a ketogenic lifestyle. In my opinion, that's not something that is sustainable for me. But it's totally sustainable for other people because they don't think about it the way that I think about it. They think about it differently. They don't feel like it's restrictive. They don't have a problem with it. It's sustainable for them, but it's not sustainable for me. So everybody says this word sustainable. Sustainable changes too. What was sustainable for me in my 20s is not the same thing that's sustainable for me now in my 40s. They're two completely different things. Completely different things. What's sustainable in January is not the same as what's sustainable in May. In January, it's harder for me to say get my steps in because the weather isn't always cooperative. But in May, hitting a higher step goal for me is easier to do because the likelihood of there being nicer days, for it to be more enjoyable, for me to want to do it, for me to not sabotage myself to do it, it's a lot higher. So a higher step count is more sustainable in May for me than it is in January. Sustainable. It's totally like, what does that even mean? Sustainable. The closer I get to Wonderland, the more my brain wants me to slow down. So frustrating. Wonderland. Oh, Wonderland. Whenever I was a Weight Watcher leader, Wonderland was a huge block for very many people. And it was very, very common for people to have large plateaus surrounding Wonderland. Either they'd get like right under Wonderland and then they can't break down to the 180s, they just get stuck in the 190s, or they get stuck right before Wonderland, so they're in the 200, 205 range, and they just get stuck. And it's a brain game. It's a brain game. We put too much value on this number, and it messes with us, and it leads to this sabotage thing. It really is. And if I knew the secret to that, I would let you know. But the true thing is that I don't know the secret, because the rules change every day, it feels like. What's, an issue one day is not an issue the next day. And it's constantly revolving and changing, and you have to stay on top of your game all the time. And it can get quite exhausting sometimes, to tell you the truth. But if weight loss is what you value, and if your why is deep and you're connected to it, then you can do it. You can do it. Hello, Lexi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, sabotage. We were talking about sabotage. So, another S word that I was talking about earlier was stress, and how whenever we're stressed, it can lead to self-sabotage. So a big thing for us is to, understand our stress, to know, how it is that we stress, because stress is different for everybody, and it even shows up differently in our bodies for everybody. So it's important to know how, you stress, and identify your stress sources. What causes you to be stressed? Whether it's, work, family, change. And, there's so many different triggers for stress. Like for me, I know whenever my house is not clean and ordered and has clutter, that creates a lot of stress for me. And it does impact my thoughts and my decisions. So I know that in order to be the best me possible, it's really important that I keep up on those things. It's very important that I don't let other things make that not a priority, because whenever that becomes less of a priority, then my eating and my exercise and all of these things become less of a priority. So it's one of those things that if my house is not in order, it stresses me out. Recognizing what your stress signals are. Again, stress signals are going to be different for everybody. So it's just something that you want to think about, whether it's, do you have low tolerance, headaches? Do you have stomach pains? Do you not sleep well whenever you're stressed out? Do you feel anxious? Different things. Work stress is a huge thing that we have to try and, deal with. And the thing with work stress is you can't always, go for a walk. You can't always get away from what is causing you the stress. You've got to, deal with the stress. And then whenever so many people are coming at you at one time, it's really hard. And you know what is really satisfying, something that we've, kind of gone to, is like that crunch factor and getting something crunchy and chomping on something in order to kind of relieve that stress versus, taking deep breaths or stretching or different ways of reducing that stress whenever we're at work. So we've got to, educate ourselves. And again, I am not the expert on all of these things, but if you find that you're having stress, if at the end of the day you said, okay, this is how I wanted to show up for myself today, and you didn't do that, and you find out, whenever you think about it, you're like, okay, it was because I was stressed out at work. Then find ways to reduce stress at work. Look them up, Google it, and try different strategies. Because you just identified something that's going to, hold you back, get in your way, sabotage you. So we want to find what those, things are with stress and how we can help to relieve those things and try different methods and ways. So know what what your go-to tactic is for calming what your stress is. How do you calm that down? I know that whenever I let it build and build and build and build, and then my bad thing that I do is I just explode. I'm like, it's not nice, and it's a bad habit that I have. It's a very, very bad habit that I have, and I need to be more like, let some of that steam off, instead of letting it build so much. Just, sometimes our stress, so later in the day, if you're feeling stressed, early in the day, sometimes it's not an immediate response. Sometimes that response is later in the day. So if you might find, if you start to really think about your behaviors and your actions, you might find that whenever you have a really stressful day, that maybe it doesn't manifest itself until late at night, whenever it's like 9 p.m. and you get the munchies. And you're like, whenever you think about it, it could be because at that point in time, now your body's trying to relax and find the stress relief from it. That's a good strategy. Hello, Angel. Welcome, welcome. I didn't see you come in. Welcome to the ABCs of Weight Loss. We're talking about words that begin with the letter S today. So making self-care a priority whenever we're feeling stress is so important. And I think, like Misty said, that dancing or jumping or moving the body is such a good way to relieve stress. But make self-care a priority. And we can also, ask for support. Ask for support. Reach out to a friend. Reach out to somebody. Just say, hey, I'm feeling really stressed out. Distract me. Don't you have a story you can tell me or something? So we can have stress. We can have difficulty sleeping, weight gain, weight loss, stomach pain, irritability, teeth grinding, panic attacks, headaches, difficulty concentrating, sweaty hands or feet, heartburn, excessive sleeping, social isolation, fatigue, nausea, feeling overwhelmed, and obsessive or compulsive behavior. So stress manifests itself in all different kinds of ways. All different kinds of ways. Good, I got you thinking. Love it when I get people thinking. That's the whole point here, is to get people thinking. It was so interesting to me because, it really got me thinking about how back whenever I was, a paying member of the No BS program, how I did write my 24-hour plan, but how I did the 24-hour assessment. And I looked through the day ahead and I thought about more often about what went right, what went wrong, what could I do better, how was I feeling, was I stressed out, different things. If there was a specific trigger to my eating, was I with a certain person? Was it a certain food? Was I in a certain location? Was it a certain time of day? What were the different things and how can I do that? And I really felt I have not been doing an assessment. And I think that's something that I need to bring back in, because although there are very many days where I can have like perfect days. Just, I'm following my plan. I'm doing all the things I said. I'm showing up for myself the way that I said that I would. But it's these rare occurrences that come up. But if I'm not analyzing the situation, then I can't figure out how to solve for that. But there are different methods and strategies and things that we can do to help us with all of that. So I need to get back personally, me, and thinking about and doing an assessment of my day and what, caused me, if I had an overeat or an off-plan eat or something like that. For, some people it could be, what caused you to go over your carbs for the day, or what caused you to go over your calories for the day, or what even caused you to not do your exercise that you were intending to do. Whatever your intentions were for the day, what got in the way of doing that? And sometimes it's just having a, negative self-talk, just saying, you're never going to get there anyway, so why bother, and figuring out ways to not let that self-talk get in there. Not let that self-talk get in there. Leaving my apartment is always a trigger. I don't do it very often these days since I work from home. That is so common for a lot of people that, the car eating. It's like, ooh, I got in my car. Now I get to go get some food. I got in my car. Get to get some food. I walked into a gas station. I get to get some food. Whatever it is. It's a huge trigger, and it's so automatic. That brain just, it gets so habitualized in your brain. And even after years and years and years of not doing it, it can sometimes just pop in at the weirdest times. Like, well, I haven't done that forever, but then it sneaks in because it's stuck in there somewhere, somehow. It's so weird. So weird. So weird. So I hope that gets you thinking about your, sabotage and your stress, and how stress can impact sabotage. And the next thing I want to talk about today is sleep. Sleep. And I think today is just a lovely day to talk about sleep. Because for me, the time changed. I think for most people, the time changed, except for, Val. She's the only one who doesn't have time change. But for a lot of us, we have time change. So sleep is something that might be impacted today, or especially over the next week. Sleep is going to be something that's going to be a little bit difficult for us because our body's natural, am I saying it right? Circadian rhythm is going to, we got used to it. We got used to whenever we go to bed and whenever we get up. And now they're messing with our internal clocks by doing time change. I hate time change too. So we want to make sure that we're getting good sleep. And like today, I know for me, it's probably going to be difficult for me to go to bed on time, for me to fall asleep on time, because my body's just not used to it. Also, my pets, they're going to have a different clock. It's funny how Loki knows what time dinner is, and he starts staring at me about 15 minutes before dinner time. He knows this. He's got an internal clock, and his clock's messed up. The cat's clocks are messed up, so everything's going to be, weird. So sleep is going to be a little bit disruptive. And the thing about sleep is that it's so important because it regulates certain hormones in your body. And those different hormones, they can either decrease your hunger or increase your hunger. Sleep is also necessary to help to repair your muscles, and it just does so many things. Again, I am no expert, but I know that sleep is important. I've read lots of things that says sleep is important, and I believe that sleep is important. I hate the change both ways too, for sure. It doesn't matter which one, but I do think that this one is, this one's harder for me, is the springtime, for sure. So, for better sleep, we want to avoid caffeine, alcohol, other chemicals that are going to interfere with sleep. That's going to help us. to get better sleep. Make sure that our bedroom is a sleep inducing environment. Is it dark? Is it a little bit cooler? Do you, have white noise? Do you not have like different things running and bothering you? Do you sleep with your phone? Studies show that if we don't sleep with our phone, we're going to get better sleep. Not to sleep with our phone. Another good way to get good sleep is to establish a soothing pre-sleep routine. So that just starts, having a soothing pre-sleep routine. Washing your face, brushing your teeth, doing some stretches, maybe doing some breathing techniques, a little bit of light yoga, taking a bath. All these different things are great ways to help signal to your body, okay, we're getting ready for bed. We're getting ready for sleep. And it just helps to trigger your body whenever you actually hit the pillow that it's time for sleep. So also, another tip that's out there is to go to sleep whenever you're truly tired. Sometimes if you try to go to sleep but you're not actually tired, it can actually be frustrating and cause more harm than good. Whenever you're laying there, you can't go to sleep after 20 minutes, you're tossing, you're turning, whatever. You might have to try, a few different things in order to relax yourself in order to get to sleep. Because at that point in time, you're starting to cause, like stress in your brain because you're like, why can't I go to sleep? I have to go to work tomorrow. Oh my God. You're freaking out. And now you can't go to sleep because you're freaking out because you can't go to sleep. I'm a great sleeper. I'm a good sleeper. So, also use the light to your advantage. Natural light keeps your internal clock on a healthy sleep-wake cycle. So you want to make sure that you're getting light first thing in the morning. Get out of the office for a sun break during the day. Just make sure that you're using, the light. It does help with sleep patterns. And just by being consistent is going to be helpful. I have a friend that, her schedule doesn't allow her to have a consistent sleep schedule, and it's all over the place. And I'm just, so impressed with everything that she can do because I've had a consistent schedule for so long. I don't even know how I could even react to not having a consistent sleep schedule. Like I am grateful for sure. Sun, S is for sun. Yeah, my that's funny. S is for sun. The one benefit of the time change is it will be sunny later. Evening walks will be a treat. So my coworker last week, she was like, "Yay for time change. We're going to have longer days." And I was like, "We're going to have longer days regardless because the sun and the time the sun rises and the sun time sets, it just gets longer naturally at this time of day." But for me, it just set me back because I walk the dog at 6 o'clock in the morning. And last week, whenever I walked the dog at 6 o'clock in the morning, it was sunlight outside. But today, whenever I got up to walk the dog at 6 o'clock, no sunlight. No sunlight. So now I have to go through those couple of weeks where I'm waiting for that sunlight in the morning again. But I am thankful and grateful for longer days. Love the longer days for sure. But it was funny because I was like, I don't know what you're saying. Yay for the time change for. Such a negative Nancy. Terrible, terrible, terrible me. So, sleep. Also, lack of sleep can cause you additional stress. So if you, stay up too late because you had something going on, and the next day it's, harder for you to get out of bed, then you got to, do all this stuff and you're like trying to get everything together to like maybe leave for work or whatever, and everything's not going right because you're sleep deprived, and then it causes you stress, and now that stress is going to cause you to do sabotage. So it all works together. It all works together. So sleep. Definitely want to get our sleep to help reduce our stress so that we don't sabotage. So we don't sabotage. All right. So, wonderful, wonderful S words that we're talking about today. I'm just having fun. I'm having so much fun. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad that you guys are here. I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate you. If I didn't say it, I don't think I did say it before, but I do. Thank you very, very much for coming to the ABCs of Weight Loss today. I appreciate it. So, as we're talking about S words, let's talk about success. Success is another fabulous S word. How many successes do you think you have during the course of a day? How many successes do you think you have during the course of a day? I'm just going to wait for an answer. How many successes do you think you have a day? Do you think you have daily success? Anybody? Anybody? Crickets? Crickets? Four successes. More than I give myself credit for. That's a good answer. 4. Angel, I think if you thought about your successes really, really hard, if I challenged you to think of 25 successes that you had today, do you think you could do it? Do you think you could do it? 25 successes. 25. I drank so much water by 10 a.m. I drank so much water by noon. I drank so much water by 2:30. I drank so much water by 5. I didn't overeat at my meals. I ate what I planned to eat. I put my exercise outfit on. I actually went out and exercised. I didn't listen to that negative self-talk. I didn't let myself compare myself to that other person who's like way awesome, and I think that I'm less than they are. But I didn't let myself think that today. The dogs didn't bark on the walk. Can I count that? Anything that brings you joy is a success because we want joy in our lives. I believe that. I can twist it into that way. It brings you joy. It didn't harm you. It didn't sabotage you, so it's a success. It didn't stress you. 25. You guys think about it. Think about it. Think about if you can write down 25 successes and hit me up on Instagram if you can think of 25. Or if you can't, let me know. Or come back to this video and comment. Let me know if you thought of 25 successes that you had today. I think I could come up with 25 successes for the day. Maybe I'll go write them down and post them on Instagram. 25 successes for today. I got distracted and I was like, oh, where am I with my steps? I'm sorry. I was like, I need 1,000 more steps to hit my 14-day step streak. I need 1,000 more steps, less than 1,000, to hit my 14-day step streak. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm excited. think you could do it tomorrow. There's something about looking back that's more difficult. There you go. Keep a log tomorrow. Keep a log. 25 successes. 25 successes. So much we want to put too much emphasis on that scale. Another S word. Want to put too much emphasis on the scale versus on the successes. And the successes don't actually, have to be weight loss related. Personal successes. Because whenever we feel good about any part of our lives, it helps boost our self-esteem. Self-esteem, another S word, helps boost our self-esteem. Whenever we're feeling good about ourselves, whenever we're feeling positive about ourselves, we want to do better for ourselves. So the successes don't have to be strictly weight loss related. They can be anything that helps you, that are successful, that benefits you, that makes your life better. So successes. It's the small little things, they do add up. They do make a difference. They do. If you woke up this morning and said positive words to yourself whenever you looked in the mirror, that's a success. That is a success. So many different things that we could do in order to be successful. What big successes have you had lately? Let's share some of our successes and let's congratulate each other and let's applaud each other and let's, shoot some horns off and do emojis and let's talk about our successes. Let's brag on ourselves for a moment. So like I just did, got 1,000 steps. I hit that 14-day step goal. 14,000. And while we're at it, is anybody doing Derek's Journeys Step Challenge coming up in April? Is anybody setting themselves the goal of doing the 500,000 steps? I was thinking about it, but that's 600 steps a day, every single day. And right now, I'm bragging about hitting 10,000 steps. So I don't know if I want to challenge myself to do 16,000 steps every single day. I'm thinking about it, but man, I think that would be quite a challenge. I lifted an 80-pound box. I lifted my 15-pound dumbbells this week. I'm doing the steps challenge, but I don't know if I'm doing the 500,000 step challenge. I'm going to join a team. I'm going to get lots of steps, but I don't know about 500,000. That's a lot of steps. So those are definitely awesome. Lifted an 80-pound box. That's pretty way cool. Lifted 50-pound dumbbells this week is way cool. I'm so enjoying my rest day today. It's nice to have a rest day. I did go, on a nice walk, but it was like a leisurely walk and not a I'm out here working it kind of walk. It was just slow and just let Loki smell stuff, and it was, it was nice. Very, very nice. I might join, but I'm only planning on a 7,000 average. Got to start somewhere. Start. That's a good S word. Oh my God, start. So, is there something that you want to start doing that you're not doing? Is there something that you want to start doing that you're not doing right now? So I want to start going back and doing my assessments for the day. I want to start thinking about the day prior and, what were, the things that I did right, and was there anything that I wish I would have done differently? I want to go back to doing that because I think it was a helpful exercise for me, and I want to start, doing that again because I kind of took a break. So I want to do that again. Is there anything else you want to start doing? Just adding 1K a month. It's a good way to start. It's a huge jump, and it takes figuring out the time commitment, the scheduling commitments, all of those things. It takes time to figure it all out and get it a part of your regular life and your routine and what you do. Now that it's not icy, I want to start running in the mornings again. Yep. That ice really does, send, it just makes it difficult. I have never really enjoyed treadmill work, like walking on a treadmill, running on a treadmill, doing anything other than hanging my clothes on the treadmill. I just don't like treadmill. I get way, way, way bored. Whenever I'm outside, I don't get as bored doing the things. And then I also like that you have to go out and then back. Like, so, once you get started, well, you gotta go and then come back. So you can't just stop in the middle. You can't be like, okay, I'm 7 minutes in and I'm done. Well, I've walked 7 minutes and I gotta walk 7 minutes back to get to my car or to get to my house or whatever. So I don't know. Something. So yeah, I'm so thankful for spring. So thankful. But I don't want to get too excited because we always have that false spring and then winter comes, back. I don't think we're ever safe until it's like May, it feels like. So, any other big successes that you guys want to share with us? Any big successes you want to share? Where'd you come from, Kat? You been here the whole time? Sorry. I had the door shut and I didn't know the cat was in here. Any other big successes? Well, why didn't you say those S words, Misty? Slow and steady. Those are S words. So while we're thinking about slow and steady, I believe in slow and steady. Why do you think that slow and steady is good? Why do you like the idea of slow and steady? Why do you like the idea of slow and steady? For me, I like slow and steady because I feel personally that it is more sustainable to go slow and steady. Because I'm a horrible guesser. I didn't even guess scale. Slow and steady lets my brain catch up for sure. That is huge, huge. It allows for the change to become a lifelong habit. Huge. See? Slow and steady. Slow and steady. It allows for the change to become a lifelong habit. Lets my brain catch up. These are so important. So important. And they're good reminders. They're good reminders. Like sometimes we can get frustrated. We can think things aren't happening fast enough. We can think that the pace is too slow. We can compare ourselves to other people and think, why am I not, having those same, results? And I want that, I want it done. But at the same time, we want it done, but we want it to be done so it will stick. We want it to stick. It also helps me prevent injury by not doing the most. For sure, we have to listen to our bodies. We do not want to overstress our bodies. So important because we want to prevent an injury because an injury can, setback. Oh my God, that's another S word. Setback. I told you guys there's so many S words. Setback. Setback. I am too because there's been I don't even know how many words that I didn't even think of before I got here, but Oh, I wish I would have thought of setback because we all experience setbacks. So you might have a setback after the holidays. You might have a setback after your birthday. You might have a setback after vacation. You might have a setback because of just no reason whatsoever. A setback. And the faster that we can get over that setback and just hit that reset button and just get back to whatever and not dwell on the setback, the better it's going to be for us. But you know what we do? We don't always do that. Sometimes we experience a setback and then we get stressed. We sabotage further. We go into negative self-talk instead of just saying, yeah, shit, another S word, happens. But I'll just move on. I'll just get back on the track. I'll get back to doing the things that I know work for me and for my body. Setbacks happen. They're always going to happen. There's always going to be a setback. And it's how we respond to that setback and how resilient we are in order dealing with that. And we just get back to it. That's what's going to, set us apart. Is dealing with those setbacks, because we're all going to experience setbacks. There's going to be unexpected things that happen that set us back, and it's okay to have setbacks. And to talk to ourselves very kindly and with, lots of self-love when they happen. So, setback. Righty. Anybody have another S word that we didn't talk about that you guys want to talk about? Anybody else have another S word they want to talk about? Because we are 6 minutes before it is time to go, and I think that I have exhausted my list of S words. It was a lovely conversation today. I absolutely had so much fun talking about all these amazing and awesome words. Exactly. Setbacks will cause us stress, leading to sabotage, lack of sleep, and changes on the scale. Very good letter. It was an excellent letter. I loved the letter S. Loved the letter S. I appreciate you guys for being here today. I thank you so very much. I want to again apologize for my absence the last 2 weeks. But like I said, I was just feeling a little bit of stress and I kind of needed a break. And I needed some time off and, just to enjoy some weekends without extra, stuff on me. So I needed to take a break. I needed to take a step back. So I thank you for being understanding of that. I appreciate you guys. And I thank you guys for coming. But I think at this point in time, we're going to kind of wrap it up. And I will see you guys next week for the letter T. I have a fun video coming out on Wednesday that is not weight loss related. It is something completely different. So I hope to see you guys in the comments section of that video or on the premiere of it. But yeah, it's fun and it's not weight loss related. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So that's it for today. I'm going to see you guys in the next video. As always, it's going to be an adventure. Bye. Bye. Gonna have to check it out.